Hey everybody, I'm back with another commentary on a story I wrote for the Femforce comic book published by AC Comics. Um, this was my first comic book story. It was in issue 119 of Femforce. There's a little bit of backstory to this. Um, Before I ever wrote this story, I had a fan website for AC called Femforce FemFans, and in the process of finding content for the website, I went to some comic book conventions and I got con sketches and I tried to get sketches of Femforce characters to post on the site. Uh, One of the people I got a sketch from was Ed Coots at the Pittsburgh Comic Con, and he did a great sketch for me on Saturday, and then I went back to him, and on Sunday he did another one. And I took his card and I later commissioned him to do a Miss Masque illustration. And in the course of our communication, he expressed interest in drawing a story for Femforce and wondered if AC would be interested in publishing his artwork. And he knew that I was familiar with the folks at AC through the website, and asked if I wrote a story that he drew, was it something that they would publish? So I spoke to the powers that be at AC, and they indicated, sure, let's see what y'all come up with. So that was how I ended up sitting down to write The Missing Masque. In writing it, the I wanted to use characters that weren't currently in the book, so that it wasn't going to it wasn't going to affect any current storylines. So I wanted to set it in the past. I'm a fan of the Blue Bulleteer. I wanted to set it before she became a pupil of Azagoth, and I needed to find other heroes who were not in the vault uh, of heroes that AC had established in their continuity um, during a time frame when I would set the story. So the story is set in Detroit, um, and that was purposeful. Uh, I'm not overly familiar with Detroit. I've been there a few times, but um, its location was the reason why I set it in Detroit. And the mobsters, the Filiacardo, who is a soldier in the Zaridi family, um, were somewhat taken from real life mafia types. Uh, in fact, there is a family. The Detroit mob was called the Partnership, and one of the members of the Partnership had a name very similar to Zaridi. So that's why I chose the name. Um, and a lot of fans have given me feedback over the years that you know the cover's a bait and switch, because you never get that scene inside the book, and that was actually somewhat purposeful. Um, I had that happen to me so many times as a kid growing up, and uh, I knew that that response would come, but I wanted the stuff on the inside of the book to at least kind of make up for it. So, in fact, people say, Miss Masque isn't even in costume in the story. And she's in costume on the cover. And she actually is in costume in the story, but at the very end. The story is called The Missing Masque. So she doesn't make an appearance as Miss Masque throughout the story because, Miss Masque is not around. She's been held captive. So, the story is kind of a pulp noir story. It's very much influenced by that genre of film, and damsels in distress and competent heroines who overcome their danger and prevail. So that's what I see the Femforce being as a book, and that's the kind of story that this is, and I figured it would fit right in. Where I really lucked out was that Ed is a fantastic artist. Femforce was strictly published in black and white at that time, and so to have somebody who really can illustrate with just inks is an unbelievable benefit. You can look at the pages, you can see what's happening on every page, you understand what's going on. He, as he says, he went to the library and he researched the cars so that he was drawing cars that were not just appropriate, for a story set in the 50s, but actually cars that would have been several years old by the 50s, because not everybody drives a new car in the new model year. He really nailed the images of the heroines. They're beautiful, they're sexy, some great posing, but it's really how he uses the inks. And I set out the one picture to the side of the Blue Bulleteer. That is just a gorgeous piece that was just a single panel on one of the pages. And you can see weeds and dirt and the shiny car and her in shadow and the wood frame house and the shingled roof, all of this with just an ink brush. So, a fantastic artist. He was great with likenesses. He did a good job on, not cluttering up backgrounds, but putting enough in there that you could tell what was going on. This, as I think I said before on Coconuts, I didn't use full script on Coconuts. I had used full script on this, so I went through and described everything that I wanted on each panel, on every page. And sometimes I had more panels on a page than I probably should have. And sometimes I had people doing too many things in a single panel that they couldn't possibly do. And he figured it out. And I think we ended up with a 9 or 11 panel page at one point. But even that, worked. And it's just, despite the fact that I've written several other stories since then, this is my favorite story that I've ever written. It just was a chance to play around and write a story for characters that I had been reading for years. And, at the end, I have a line that everybody said I was, I'd messed up. There was a typo. But I set the story in Detroit. And so when I say he's heading south for Canada, you can head south into Canada from Detroit. So that is a little bit about the Missing Masque. I hope you're enjoying these commentaries. I got a nice comment from Bill Black on the last one on coconuts, and telling me I should do more. So I had already been planning on doing this one, so I'm going to go ahead and post this. But if you have any questions about the story, anything you want to know about, why I wrote it the way I wrote it, why certain scenes played out the way they did, drop a comment. Don't forget, if you enjoyed the commentary or you enjoy hearing generally content about the Femforce, give the video a like. If you want me to talk about more Femforce stuff and maybe do some reviews of Femforce and Super Babes, as well as other comic books, go ahead and hit subscribe. Let's make this a place where Femforce fans can find extra content on the web while we wait for our next issue of the book to come out. So with that said, everybody, I hope you have a great day tomorrow, and good night.